Hello and welcome to Data Vlog. In this Excel tutorial for beginners, I will explain you how to use cell reference in Microsoft Excel. Before I proceed with this tutorial, it's my humble request, kindly subscribe to my channel to keep supporting me. There are three types of cell references in Microsoft Excel. One is relative reference, the second one is absolute reference, and the third one is mixed reference. So what is a cell reference? In simple terms, a cell reference is nothing but the location of a cell you are referring to. For example, when I click on this cell, as you can see, this cell is in A column and third row, and when you look at the name box, it is showing as A3. When you click on this cell, it is in C column and fifth row, and as you can see, it is referencing as C5. Now let us look at relative cell reference in Excel. In this example dataset, I have scores for two different subjects for five different students. And now I want to calculate total here. For that, I'm going to use equal to maths plus science and press enter. Now it has calculated the total or sum of maths plus science. When the fill handler is active, just hold your left click and drag down this fill handler. So it copied the formula for all of these cells. To look at the formula behind these cells, just select all of these cells and use control backquote. I'm going to undo this action again, control backquote. If you want to look at the formulas, the other way is go to formulas and click on show formulas. Now you can see the formula behind these cells. Now when you look at this cell, to calculate this total, it is referring to B3 plus C3. Now as you go down, it has to refer to the relative cell for the same row, like B4 and C4. So that is called relative reference. So it just refers to the relative row and column based on the cell where you are using this formula. So in this way, in relative reference, the row and column numbers keep on changing based on how you use the formula, whether you're expanding the formula in the column or whether you are expanding it in the row. Now I'm just unhiding the formula and I'm deleting all of these values. And now when you click on Ctrl C to copy the cell and press Ctrl V, again as you can see, the cell reference has moved. Previously it is B3 plus C3 and now it is B4 plus C4. This way, in relative reference, the cell references keeps changing as you move across different cells. Now I'm going to select all of these cells. I'm going to use Ctrl V. So this is relative cell reference in Excel. Now let us look at absolute cell reference in Excel. Now I have this total for all of these students and I want to calculate percentage. I'm going to calculate the percentage against this 200 because all the subjects are maxed at 100. So for these two subjects, the total maximum marks one can achieve is 200. So to calculate the percentage, I'm going to use equal to, I'm going to select total divided by for that division symbol and I'm going to select 200 and press enter. I'm going to change it to percentage. For that, I'm going to home tab and I'm going to click on percentage. Now, when I hold my left click and drag down this formula across these cells, I'm getting these values and error message. This is not the output that we are expecting here. Let us select all of these cells and press Ctrl backquote to look at the formula behind. Here, the relative cell reference is working, which means as you move down across different rows, the row numbers are changing, which is not how we want to calculate the percentage. Because to calculate the percentage, you have to calculate the total against the 200 in every scenario, which means 200 cell reference remains fixed. It shouldn't change, but here it is changing like E1, E2, E3, E4, E5. It should be even for all of these rows. To fix this cell reference to a fixed location, we should correct this formula. For that, I am selecting the first formula. Let's go to the formula bar, click on E1 and press F4, which gives the dollar symbol before the column and as well as the row, which means it is fixing the location of the column and row. Now press enter, select this row and drag down the fill handler. Now as you can see, the E1 column has been fixed and it is not changing as it moved down across different rows. So this way we can use absolute cell reference in Excel by locking the reference cell using dollar symbol by using F4 in the formula bar in Excel. Now I'm pressing Ctrl back quote again and you can see the correct percentages now. Now let's go to the final one, mixed cell reference. For mixed reference, we are going to use an example where we are creating a multiplication table matrix. For that, we are going to multiply these different row values with these different column values in a matrix mode. For example, 10 into 1 should be 10, 50 into 3 should be 150, 20 into 5 should be 1000. So let us start writing the formula equal to this row value multiplied by, for that I'm using asterisk symbol, this column value, press enter. Now hold your left click and drag down the formula, but this is not the result that we are expecting here. To look at the formula behind these cells, just go to formulas and click on show formulas. Now here, relative cell reference is working. As you move across different rows, the row numbers are changing, but that is fine in the case of these row values because here the values are changing, but in the case of second instance, the row value should remain constant, which means it should be locked. To lock the location of this row value, click on this cell, go to the formula bar, click on this second cell instance and place dollar symbol just before the row number and press enter to lock that row number. Select this cell and copy down this formula. Now the row number remained the same for all of these instances. Press Ctrl back quote again. Now the result is fine. Now hold the left click and drag down this formula across these different columns. But this is not the result that we are expecting here because 20 multiplied by 5 should be 1000, which is incorrect here. Now let us go and look at the formula again. As you move across these different columns, the column name for the first instance is changing. Like here it is A3, here it is B3, but it should be A3 in all of these cases, which means we should log the column name for the first instance. For that, I'm going to select the first cell and I'm going to place the cursor here and I'm going to place the dollar symbol just before the column name to log the column. Press enter. I'm going to drag down the formula here and I'm going to drag down the formula towards the right side. Now press Ctrl back quote. Now we got the correct result, which means in the first instance we have logged the column name and in the second instance we have logged the row number. So this way, in mixed cell reference in Excel, we are going to use a combination of cell reference locking. Either we log the column name or we log the row number or a combination of both. So that is why we call it as mixed cell reference. That's all folks. I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial on cell referencing in Excel. Please do subscribe to Datablock for more Excel tutorials and I will catch you in another Excel tutorial. Thank you.